on the way to the temple in Jerusalem, on the way to worship the Lord, after having traveled for some many days, they begin their worship with a recognition of their need and distress. I cried out to the Lord. Saints, what if we marked our gathering for worship in this way? What if we showed up here and simply led with our distress? What if we just kind of rocked up in here and began just by saying, look, here are the ways that the world has broken me this week. Here are the less put together parts of my lives that are having their way with me. What would that kind of conversation look like? Good morning, welcome to Christ City Church. I am covered up with worry and anxiety. Oh, really? Guess what? Good morning to you too. I'm out of a job and I'm feeling 6 different ways of desperate about that. Well, dang. Well, let's cry out to the Lord together. Let's call to the one who hears us, who's merciful and who rescues. God, will you hear us? Yeah, that's a good plan. Let's do that. What if this summer there was a practice of us leading with vulnerability, leading with desperation to see God show up in some area of our lives that we need God's presence in? In areas of our faith or areas of our neighborhoods or areas of our relationships, some areas of our health or our bodies, our minds or our emotions, some area of our future that we're unsure, we're unsteady about. What would it look like for us to just show up and say, this is where I am. God, I need for you to hear me. And we just named that to one another. And we just called out together and on one another's behalf to the Lord who hears our prayers. Psalm 120, it just doesn't ease us into it. It just begins with a hearty, Lord, I need you. We need you. Have we not already sung that this morning? I suspect that if we followed that pattern, saints, if we followed that pattern of worship, that it would shape our worship together. It would shape our prayers together, that we'd see God show up in areas of our lives where, frankly, we are in distress. Perhaps that's the biggest invitation this morning for us. In your small group, or in your affinity group, or with folks in this room that you feel tethered to, that you would just practice vulnerability with them and let them be the Lord's representative in your life, that we could normalize saying to one another, I'm in distress, will you pray for me? In those prayers and those spiritual practices, Saint, those are practices that the Spirit honors.